to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
106.5 FM DSN.
Really too much. Good morning and welcome to Abona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 19th day of January 2024, and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7 this Friday morning. It's time for newspaper headlines on Abona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
You know that you have the right to quality broadcasting. The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Punch, Vanguard, Daily Post, Sun, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. AFCON 2023, Truce Ekong on target as Nigeria edge Cote d'Ivoire in Abidjan. States tighten nose on mining as Ibadan explosion death toll now 5. Again, Clark describes Buhari's tenors Nigeria lowest. Reps panel orders ministries to refund 85 billion naira COVID-19 funds. South governors to reposition BRACED Commission for Development. Court grants Emefiele travel permission to as federal government files fresh charges. Court grants Emefiele travel permission as federal government files fresh charges. Chetima urges African leaders to ramp up continent's $3.1 trillion GDP. Shell must not go until cleanup is done. CAPPA tells federal government. Over 100,000 unarmed Nigerians killed in 8 years, says a report. Nigeria getting investors' interest in $2 billion fiber infrastructure fund. ICPC, FIRS partners against financial tax frauds. Call this charade, let Emefiele be. Abo stakeholders urge Tinubu. Supreme Court dismisses ADC suit rules on Gombe, Nasarawa, Guba cases today. Abu Salami to share CNG discourse on security. NIPR hails Kanu governor for initiating Elders Forum. Anti-graft groups seek judicious use of $8.9 million recovered arms stolen fund. Group set to drag army, police to United Nations over abuses. Group urges government to ban military escorts from VIPs. Kidnapping. NIMC, NCC collaborate with security agencies on solutions. Bamidele, Atoyebi drags FIJ, DKIA, investment owners to court over alleged cyber bullying, blackmail. Glow is Nigeria's ambassador, says Abu Razak. Ondo government moves to curb incessant sea incursion in Ayetoro. Wants zone 2027 governorship slot. Anchor University kicks off law, postgraduate in business administration program. 2 others. Inspector General of Police rolls out over 2 billion naira to next kings of slain. UJ, ICSPJ decry police invasion of Umuahia TV radio office. Ohanese felicitates with annual call at 91. Federal government pledges quality healthcare at IVON clinical trial ends. New Niger dream on course, says commissioner. Corruption hindering local council autonomy. NULGE laments. Ikeja Electric pledges sustainable operations. Edo, Ondo, Guba polls. Youth Party offers 50% fee cut for women, youths, people with disabilities. Tinubu felicitates with foremost journalist Anyobulu at 60. Federal government returns FAAN headquarters to Lagos. E-Stars unveils classroom of the future. Educationist plans scholarship for 2,000 out-of-school children. Plays government on negligence. Federal government partners Erasmus Plus on international certification. Soludo boosts startup in Anambra, sponsors Forest Labs team to Silicon Valley. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper this morning. 14 months after Adeleke takes decision on dethroned monarchs, Ikoyi residents urge Sanwo-Olu to stop illegal dredgers to prevent impending flood ocean surge. FEM set to unveil app to ease international transactions. Massive breakthrough as troops bust illegal oil bunkering sites in rivers. Alleged 4 billion fraud. EFCC drags Babangida Aliyu and Tanko Beji to appeal court. Edo, Ondo governorship polls. Youth Party offers a 50% fee cut for women, youth, people with disabilities. We're taking this. Insecurities, we're taking this. Insecurity, Abu Salami to share Northern Coalition discourse. Chetima urges African leaders to ramp up 3% of continent's global GDP. Kaduna Internal Revenue Service targets 62 billion naira in 2024 official. EFCC should reform Yahoo Boys to IT specialists, cybersecurity specialists, advises. Fresh troubles for ex-CBN Governor Emefiele as federal government amends fraud charges. Police apprehend varsity student for illegal possession of firearm. NIMET to present seasonal climate prediction on February 20th. Banditry. Zamfara governor signs executive order banning monarchs from issuing mining consent letters. Shinkafi resumes as permanent secretary, warns staff against indolence. Court grants Emefiele permission to travel outside Abuja. Lagos agency rescues a pregnant woman assaulted by her husband. Will Remi Tinubu doles out 100,000 naira each to 250 elderly persons in Rivers. Mufwang speaks on appeal court judgment sacking all PDP state federal lawmakers. Federal government orders investigation into Ibadan explosion. CBN to continue settlement of verified forest backlog. Court stops MBC from imposing fines on broadcasters. Shoyinka vows to name APC politicians EFCC, ICPC should be quizzing. OP celebrates 2023 achievements, unveils ambitious 2024 plans. Prosperity, gospel, evil, counterproductive, promoting poverty, cultic ideology, says Don. NAFDAC launches Green Book to confirm registered drugs. Federal government unveils healthcare plans for aging population. Simulates Tinubu's action on climate. Onigbo urges group. Anambra monarchs protest alleged disrespect by Soludo. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. The road to Thanksgiving. NAICOM mourns Pioneer Commissioner Emefiele for fresh arraignment today. Cuba honors NLC for denouncing aggression by superpowers. His former media aide, Ayobolu, at 60. Improved welfare, security coming for displaced persons, federal government, pharmacists, rights Tinubu over improper drug prescriptions, dispensing. Airport official arrested over attempt to smuggle suspected drug on board Ibom Air. AFCON title, no escape for Super Eagles, Mikel Obi. Many injured as Niger Delta youths clash in Abuja. Gombe fixes April for conduct of local government election. Southern Middle Belt leaders reiterate demand for state policy. Obi force approval of 3 billion naira to verify National Social Register. Labour Party sets Edo governorship forms at 30 million naira. NNPP likens Governor Yusuf to Tinubu in leadership politics. Abakoba, Nigeria needs a new constitution to survive insecurity. Naira redesign contributed to clean election. Buhari, APC youth leaders urged to mobilize for Yobe East election. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Leadership newspaper this morning. Access Bank targets majority stake in Uganda's FTB. Nigeria's crude oil output surges 7.7%, edges closer to 2024 budget benchmark. Shell assets sell. Federal government not opposed to legitimate business deals. Lukobri. Hughes returns as fake agents milk Nigerians at NIN registration centers. CBN settles $2 billion FX backlog. Keystone Bank repositioning for growth. New CEO Iman assures customers. Keystone Bank repositioning for growth. New CEO Imam assures customers. And that's the much we can take from the Leadership newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Supreme Court, Abiodun Adebutu, learn fate today. Mufwang makes case for Plateau lawmakers sacked by appeal court. Inspector General presents 2 billion naira to families of deceased corpses in Abuja. Explosion. Monarchs commend Makinde's swift response. PDP demands probe. 4.8 billion naira fraud. EFCC opposes Ibeto's appeal. Ibadan. Explosion. Deaths rise to 5 soldiers occupy site. Ibadan explosion. Deaths rise to 5 soldiers occupied site. 75% Nigerian pregnant women have low blood CMD. MFLA impersonated SGF to illegally obtain $6.2 million. EFCC. Labour names representatives for federal government's minimum wage panel. Tambuwa's appointees took away 745 government vehicles. Sokoto panel. Opposition forced Rivers Assembly over resigned commissioners' rescreening confirmation. Supreme Court, Abiodun Adebutu, learn fate. Troops rescue 9 kidnapped passengers in Benue. Rivers. Troops rescue 9 kidnapped passengers in Benue. Rivers traders protest beg Fubara to reopen market, allocate shops. 1 Fiat dead as gas explosion rocks to reopen market, allocate shops. 1 Fiat dead as gas explosion rocks Rivers community. 1 Fiat dead as gas explosion rocks Rivers community. Pipeline protection. Chief of Defense Staff asks media not to create conflict among security agencies. Agric Minister to supply 40% residents' food needs. Foundation gives Bayelsa students scholarships. Edo poll. CRPP backs Okpebolo. Anyoko unveils museum to mark 91st birthday. Government visits Delta rainstorm. Government visit Delta rainstorm victims, pledges support. The Apostolic Church School marks 60th anniversary. Prioritize tangible projects. Service Commission urges local government chairs. Lagos pays 57 billion naira to 16,340 retirees. Bandits sack 10 Kaduna villages. Public outrage grows as kidnapping epidemic worsens. Tinubu meets Ganduje, Gawuna over reps orders ministries to return 85 billion naira COVID-19 funds. Police to pay 50 million naira for arresting Abiola's widow in nightgown. Ibunedon, Varsity, marks Silver Jubilee, counts blessings. Lagos plans Butchers Academy, meat chop, and that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Vanguard newspaper. 2023 polls. Supreme Court to determine fate of 9 governors today. The road to Thanksgiving by Azu. We won't allow CBN to print money, says Budget Minister. NICOM partners police to enforce compulsory insurance policies. National Assembly assures NDIC on support for deposit insurance. Getting Nigeria to reset for progress. CBN anchoring Tinubu's anti-corruption mission with aggression. Malaria elimination. Lessons from Cabo Verde. Malaria elimination. Lessons from Cabo Verde. Tribute to amazing auntie. So South governors to reposition BRACED Commission for Regional Development. To reposition BRACED Commission for Regional Development. Impact of fuel subsidy removal tough on Nigerians. Tinubu. Ibadan explosion. Police declare owners of building wanted. Additional's book, Your 8 Years Rule Was Biased, Unjust, Nepotic. Clark tells Buhari. Assembly threatens Fubara over correspondence. Politicians, not INEC, responsible for election violence. Ganduje. INEC lists 66 males, 8 females, 0 people with disabilities for February 3rd by-elections. Edo 2024. Igadalo declares shut down Benin. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Pornography undermines sexual pleasure, says Pope. EFCC files amended charges against Emefiele, ex-CBN boss, gets travel permission. Troops rescue 9 kidnapped travelers, arrest 2 in Benue Forest. Ibadan explosion, illegal miners claim federal government approvals. Ondo State. Anambra chieftaincy saga, Obi of Onitsha tackles Soludo. Assembly threatens Fubara over correspondence. 50% Nigerians have no access to electricity. Mele Kyari. Buhari defends Emefiele on Naira redesign. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. We relocated headquarters to Lagos in Nigeria's best interest. FAAN, Nigeria's human rights record to be viewed in Geneva, January 23rd. Nigeria's human rights record to be reviewed in Geneva, January 23rd. Nigerian government vows to address sudden deaths among civil servants. Ibadan explosion. Afenifere warns against recurrence. Alleged 4 billion naira fraud. EFCC appeals High Court ruling on Babangida Aliyu, Tanko Beji. Ondo Governor Aiyedatiwa condoles Oyo people over Ibadan explosion. AFCON, they lack commitment. Bashir Ahmed criticizes Nigerian Super Eagles after 1-0 win over Ivory Coast. NIDCOM, boss, congratulates 2 Nigerians in the diaspora for achievements in UK, US. Troops bust illegal oil bunkering sites in rivers. Police arrest former IPAC chairman who demanded suspension of Defense Minister Matawale. Arrest those responsible for Ibadan explosion. NUJ. Others tell Nigerian government security agencies. Abuja lawyer calls out EFCC officers for wearing slippers at work. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Oti appoints Okonjo-Iweala, Sanusi, Ote, others in Abia economic team. Ibadan blast, 58 houses affected. Nema, Kalo Sad urges full investigation. Wike vows to resist project infractions in FCT. Supreme Court dismisses ADC's appeal against Yahaya, adjourns PDP's judgment to refund the 75 billion naira COVID-19 funds. Insecurity, suspend foreign trips until issue is addressed, will be tax government officials. Court nullifies MBC's powers to impose fines on broadcast stations. Police arrest 37 suspects, recover 16 guns, others in Lagos, Ibadan. Explosion has rendered me homeless. Oladokun, ex-Oyo deputy governor, Ibadan explosion. Oyo set up emergency situation room. Ibadan explosion was caused by IED, NEMA. Supreme Court saved Kanu, Plateau, Zamfara from boiling. Itiaba, San. Bayelsa, many sides of Jonathan's defense of Diri's re-election. Party chieftains on unity. IOC's asset divestment. Nigeria loses nothing. Lukubri. Federal government, Nasarawa government strengthen collaboration on mining development. Glo, Nigeria's proud ambassador, para governor. Shareholders fled as SEC approves GSK's request to delist shares. Nasarawa's entertainment industry takes center stage. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Abiodun, Sule, Oborowori, Idris, no fate today. Ibadan explosions, 2 more bodies recovered. South-South governors unite for region's development. 12 deep offshore block bid round. APC rules out automatic ticket for Aiyedatiwa. Scholars profile solutions to marital crisis. Akoshile, 6 unity among Muslims. Lawmaker backs one China idea. Medical outreach for community. Pupils to study environment education. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Biographer unveils books on Buhari. Blogger arraigned for alleged defamation. University of Lagos graduates inducted into NSE. AEDC signs deal to deliver uninterrupted power in Abuja. Ekiti road projects excites lawmaker. Pencom comes top in ethics, integrity. Globacom is homegrown telecoms market leader, says Abu Razak. Fake certificates. Minister calls for more resilient NYSC mobilization system. We are collaborating with NCC, security agencies to tackle kidnapping, says NIMC. Ohaneze, Soludo, Mohalo facilitates ex-Commonwealth Secretary at 90. That's the most we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. 5 more governors no fate today as Supreme Court delivers judgment. Takang, Murphy's takeover of federal government shares in discourse to resolve structural issues in power sector. 12 more deep offshore oil as NUPRC conducts new mini bid round. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. It's Martin is here every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders. Importantly, your views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebona at 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
Family is the foundation of the society. Now, this way, never now, the 103.5 FM, wherever I got it,
Papa, Mama, na ụmụaka maka ịmata ihe gbasara ezinụlọ sonyere classic lady.
Classic lady.
N'ebe ọ na-adị 103.5
FM. No girl do ezinụlọ. Canada Garage every Tuesday na Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
Biko nwanne m bekele ka m jụọ gị kedu ebe m ga-enweta ezigbo MC maka mmemme a na-akwado?
Ikamaju kpọọ Shaka Shaka the latest MC in town ka occasion gị anwa bụrụ ịgba. Ị na-achọ ezigbo MC maọbụ DJ na agbamakwụkwọ go, agbamnkwụ go, child dedication go, imepe ụlọ, ọ bụzi ụmụ akwụkwọ na-eme graduation maọbụ end of the year party. Shaka Shaka bịa na mmemme ahụ. Ị mara na I love you bụ Selekunse. Kpọọ ya n'akara ekwentị ndị a
09022670547 maọbụ WhatsApp 07030366888.
ụmụnne Shaka Shaka.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebona FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Government.
Whatever. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanyu, as number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebona 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
In your face.
on Emas in Ebona the corner
24/7. 24/7.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. Tang, Murphy's takeover of federal government shares in discourse to resolve structural issues in power sector. 12 more deep offshore oil blocks for auctioning as NUPRC conducts new mini. Access Bank seeks to acquire 80% stake in Uganda Finance Trust Bank. Lukobri. Federal government ready to immediately approve Shell's $2.8 billion deal with oil custom. 12 more deep offshore oil blocks for auctioning as NUPRC conducts new mini bid round. We've taken this. Ayeni, federal government in the $4.5 billion from non-oil exports in 2023. At America's Energy Summit, April 6 investment in Nigeria's hydrogen resources. Wike gives December 2nd deadline for completion of ongoing projects in FCT. AEDC signs tripartite agreement for first on-grid solar hybrid power solution. AEDC signs tripartite agreement for Nigeria's customs service at over 91,000 basis points. Vetiva announces 3 additional board of directors. Travel expert Ikechi Uko turns 60. Arise.